Welcome to the exchange. Today we're talking with Ev, who has been an OG Tana ambassador. She's been using Tana for almost 3 years now. We're going to have lots of stories to talk about, and we're going to just dive into her experiences, what led her to Tana, and what she's up to lately, and we'll see where it leads. So, welcome, Ev.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Me too, me too. For anyone who isn't familiar, there's also Simon here. So, let's see. Friday is when the announcement happens, so I guess maybe we can't talk
Tomorrow.
about it yet.
Depends if we're putting this out today or tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we're putting it out tomorrow. So, yeah, okay, we can announce it, I think. Simon is are going to be one of the latest ambassadors. So, we have three ambassadors on the call, technically.
Yeah, congratulations, Simon.
Thank you, thank you. It's been a nice long year leading up to it, I guess. But
Yeah,
now official. Got a little badge on there. I should get the
yeah.
hat soon.
We
The
should
hats
have
are
Then I can
had
nice.
really.
like ambassador hat or something that we could like put on you.
Yeah, I mean, Matt tried to send one like months ago, and with the Israel post, it just never showed up. So
Uh,
like, I need
oh,
to like, Matt, can you please send me another one and a T-shirt, and I'm sure it'll all come through. But no, very excited.
So, Ev, could you tell us your origin story? How you found Tana and what
yeah.
led you and what made you stick with Tana?
Um, so I remember a friend of mine messaged me on Twitter like when Tana was like just coming out of stealth mode, and he said, "You have got to look at this. I think you're gonna love it." And he was right. Because like as soon as I saw the promo video, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like exactly what I've been looking for." So at the time I've been using Roam, which I often say to people, like, I didn't use Roam like other people used Roam. I used Roam like I used Tana. So I had tags for everything. And then I think they were called queries or something in Roam. And I had queries to find things later. So I was like, literally had the Tana way in Rome. And so when I saw Tana, I was like, okay. So then I signed up for the wait list, and then I remember seeing a whole lot of people get off the wait list, and I did not get an email. And I was like devastated. And I'm like tweeting like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't get an invite or something like that. Anyway, Stian messaged me and he said, "Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure we got you off the wait list." And so then I, fixed it up. And since then, by the way, I've never got an email from Tana. So like, there's something wrong with my email, and Tana don't get regular emails. But that's how I kind of like got there. And then I think like within 48 hours, I was like in. Like everything was in there. I was really like stuck in there, and the Tana team were like, "Wow, okay, like something's obviously sticking forever." So yeah, and then since then, I think then probably that was like September or October, 2022 now, and then like by end of November, I had launched the first iteration of Tana Fast Track, because people were
Nice.
like, "I want your templates." And I was like, "There's no templates." There was no templates at the time. It was like this hacky way that Stian taught me to be able to like teach people how to get templates into their workspaces. And so
Wow.
then yeah, that was like 3 years ago now. So and I've just like I have not even looked at another app since. Like it's exactly how I love to work. Like it just fits me so perfectly. So yeah, that's my story.
I just find the flexibility in it just like me and Nick were talking about this yesterday. Every time I've built something, I've overhauled my entire system with the new
Yeah.
template because I'm building like infrastructural, like foundational things. And the fact that I can just disconnect everything and reconnect it all back up again with a whole new, it, people don't necessarily understand how that works just yet, but
Yeah.
like it's possible to do it and just completely connect up a whole new system with all my live data. And having that flexibility is crazy. And then the ability to just like, okay, I can add this to it and add that to it and just keep building things up. It's it takes a certain mind to kind of click for it all when you're building things, but to use it is a different level. Like it's you can use things at a lower level and build at an advanced level and do all things you need to do. But I think once you get past that little hurdle of understanding the the navigation and
Yeah.
et cetera, you fly with it. Because I did the same. I came from Notion, played
Yeah.
around with a bunch of different things, tried any type, capacities, capability, whatever it's called, and every single other one. And I think I came to Tana originally in 2023, left it alone for a little bit, and then came back to it. And when I came back to it, it was like, oh, it clicked. And then all of a sudden, all these outliner tools, every other one of them just clicked. And I was like, oh, but I want this one. Like, this is the one that this is the one that this is one that gets it. I get it. Like, I
Yeah.
can start doing things. And I think within a few months, I was building everything in it. I think I'd looked at every other person's templates as well. Like, you were one source that I looked at. Lucas from Cortex was another
Yeah.
one. Tana Nodes, like all of these guys. Like I looked at all their templates. I even downloaded a few. I had a whole like everybody in Tana. We've got a whole list of these are all the templates that I've collected. And I think since then I was just like, I did the same thing that I did when I learned how to use Adobe and Photoshop, which is I worked in graphic design studios, so I would go into look over the shoulder of other designers. Oh, how did you do that? And then you would look at the file and pull the file apart, and that's basically what I did for this as well. And it was like, oh, that's how that works. Oh, that's really clever. Okay, well, I'm going to use this one now and do all of that. And then I think when I started chatting with Nick like regularly, it just the two of us just started elevating each other's sort of like processes within Tana. Like some of the stuff that he was doing in GigaBrain enforced what I was doing in Focus Pro and
Yeah.
back and forth. So like there's a whole thing that's happened there. So business
Yeah.
in Tana now is like the kind of a combination of all of that thought process together.
Yeah, it's super cool to see.
Yeah, like we were going through it properly yesterday, and we realized that because my system was handling an infrastructure, Nick didn't need to build a big infrastructure. He could latch onto what I was doing, and
Yeah.
therefore the template sizes just went like from being up here to like, oh well, we can go down a little bit now.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I think so. And that's what I said to you, I think when we were talking a couple of weeks ago. It's like you literally just built like this like foundation template where you could like plug anything into. It's like so cool.
Yeah, and like, because that's what I needed for me.
Yeah.
Like, I had all these other templates, I had all these other ideas, everything was all working together. You just needed some way to be like, this is now a system and this is how it
Yeah.
works, versus everything completely in silo. It was hard for me to, well, the whole reason I came to Tana in the first place was to have an all-in-one place to do things.
Yes.
And that's, other tools just didn't do that. I don't need a note taker. I need a place to work and
Yeah.
operate that works like a notepad on my desk. But yeah, it was that kind of thought process that brought me in. So then naturally I was like, okay, how many commands can I make to make my life easier?
I thought I was the command queen.
You are, absolutely.
All
But
all my command buttons.
yeah. No, that would give me anxiety. It's too many choices.
Well, that's why, I'm pretty sure that's why they came out with the command menus, because I was like, there's like way too many buttons on there.
Oh no,
Super-
they called you out on it. Like they were like, this is for
Oh, I
Ev.
know.
Very funny.
They're so useful. Once you kind of and then, but then when also when Andre started to have, and I think you guys have got them as well, but like just knowing that you could like just have a button that does nothing, it's just a filter. I was like, oh, now I've got so many things that it's like unconnected, or it's this kind of task, and it just
Oh,
shows
that kind of thing. Yes.
yeah, like the button does nothing, but it's there because there's the node filter.
So this was something I was trying to work out when I was building all the things, was like, do I have to be reliant on a field, or can I use Tana's like core system to like filter things through? So the status thing that I created is all based on to do and not done and done. It's not based on the actual status.
Oh,
It's not
that's
based on the field result. It's based on
if
like
it's
whether or not
done,
something's
it's done.
done,
Yeah,
checked, and so like that way, if you have your own system involved in it
yeah,
and you don't use my status system, all the functionality will still work.
yeah. That's a good idea.
Well, yeah, that was kind of like, and this is why I was a big fan of using the created date and the date page, because you can very easily target and very easily navigate through things that way.
Yeah.
But it's also, I keep saying to Nick, and I'm very big on this, it's the first button at the top, like utilize it, like it's the first place to go to. It's really easy.
I think so.
I know you're
I
a big
mean, like
fan.
I think that there's mindset shifts that people have to make when they come into Tana, and the day page is one of them. If they haven't had
Yeah.
an app where like it's the day page is the first thing that they're looking at, then they're like,
Yeah.
wait, do I put all the notes here? Like what? Like I have like there's a lot of people kind of like can't get their head around that, especially if you come from like Evernote or I don't know whatever the others are.
Notion, yeah.
Yeah, but then I
Well,
still
Notion have a day page now, don't they?
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's not a day page like Tana's day page,
No.
but like I have a lot of people who used to follow me who still use Notion, and they're like, "How can I make the things that you're doing in Tana happen in Notion?" And I was like, "You can't." Like,
Come over to the dark side.
exactly. Like, I mean, I've set up some like hacky day pages for people in Notion, but like, it just there's not the functionality there. It doesn't work like that.
No.
It's just the same
That
kind
was
of yeah.
that was one of the light bulb moments for me is I stopped comparing Tana to other outliners or note takers and stuff, and I realized it's a no-code development tool.
Yeah.
And that opened up so many avenues where I realized, oh, I can build whatever I want. I can also build whatever other people want. And as a product designer, that is my natural wheelhouse. And now I don't depend on needing to talk to engineering and translate using Figma files and whatnot. I can just determine what the problem is that needs to be solved and then build for that. Which, yeah, that was such a huge unlock. And you don't have to be building for other people, you could be building for yourselves. But regardless, like they were a step ahead of it's kind of vibe coding without the vibe in a way, but I have a feeling those two worlds are going to be merging more and more over time.
Yeah.
And if you have something that is natural for a human to interact with rather than, code, that's going to be the superior interface to even vibe code in, let alone, tinker with yourself.
I think so. I don't know when I said this a couple of months ago or something. I was like, is vibe building a thing? Because like that's what I feel like I'm doing in Tana. You kind of start with something, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna see if it can do this and then that. And it's like suddenly, yeah, it's like and I do
Yeah.
feel like that. And I think, I think the best thing about Tana is that it feels easy to build in. It's like doesn't like you're secretly using databases and you're secretly using kind of these underlying things, but all you're doing is like adding a super tag or doing this thing. And so it actually feel like you can be kind of a product designer without feeling like you've got to understand all that stuff.
Absolutely. Because I am not a product designer. I'm by trade a marketing designer,
Yeah.
and a storyboard like a storyteller to a certain extent because I studied film and TV. But this gives you a lot more capacity to be like, oh, I just need to think about the process because the tools are basically there. It's very similar like to how I've got NA10 as well, and it's like, oh well, I can use this software in a no-code format that utilizes code in particular ways, but it displays it in a way for me that I don't have to look through a big body of text. And as someone who's very visually, like that's my memory, that's how I process things in my head. I'm very visual. To look through code is very taxing for me. So
Yeah.
to have it in this visual format is like, okay, cool. But because Tana have like these, I'm going to say it like this, they have rules for the way you build things. Like the search queries have rules with the way that you set things up. It's, add a field, you do, it doesn't have that many parameters to get things wrong. Like if it's not returning a result, you need to change the search. But like you haven't got, loads of different code formats. You haven't got loads of different softwares. You haven't got CSS and Java and Python and all these other different things to make that one tool and thing work. It's just, okay, I need to do this and add a tab and another node and make sure the hierarchy is correct and et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, I clicked with it after a little while, but it's a very steep learning curve. But then once you're at the top of that, it's like, oh, wow, all these functions, all these tools. I'm excited to see what comes next from what they're doing with it all.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Because it
I'm
feels like there's a
wondering,
lot.
I'm curious, Ev, you've had a lot of experience transitioning people from other technology and tools to Tana.
Yeah.
Which is the easiest to transition from and which is the most difficult, in your opinion?
Oh, it's such a good question because, in my head, I used to think like, if you're already using like an outliner like Roam or Logseek or even like Workflowy, it should be super easy. And then actually I saw those people like really struggle, especially like it's like, when you're in Roam, a lot of things are like, double bracket kind of, this interlinking, whereas like this is very much, I actually think probably the easiest is capacities, because capacities gets this idea of object-based note taking, where it's like, this is an object and we're going to tag this in. So I reckon that's probably, if people are transitioning from that, if they're transitioning from any kind of like traditional, Evernote, Bear, Apple Notes, there's a bit of a struggle with like, where do I put this thing? And so I often tell people now it's where, not when. So like when, not where, right? So it doesn't matter where something is, it's when do you need to see that again? So do you need to see it when you go to the project? You need to see it on a particular day, as a part of a collection. So I try and teach people that, but it takes a bit because there's a bit of trust. Like you have to offload some trust into Tana and yourself to be like, okay, I put this here on a day page and I'm tagging it and it's going to show up somewhere else when I need it. But like, will it show up? Like that's the trust that you've got to kind of like put in the system. But once you get it, it's so freeing.
Yeah. I mean, these were some of the fail safes that I put into the thingy. Like I had some commands which basically just expanded the node to be like, oh, something's missing. But like those kind of things are... I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and he was like, I just want to drag and drop it in here. And I'm like, but you don't need to. And it was like this sort of like mechanical, going from mechanical to just this frictionless, I can just tag it. Because what you wanted to do was you wanted to tag it, then you wanted to drag it in. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You have to, you don't need it to work that way either. Like you're making an extra step for yourself. Like, think about it this way. I have to set the thing up, tag it, and then I have to set the field, but then I have to go and find the thing where it needs to be, click all those different things to get it open, then drag it across. You've made an extra 5 to 6 steps for yourself that Tana doesn't need you to do.
Yeah.
If you set things up correctly. So like that's kind of where the thing for me was like, oh wow, I can get to here from the today page like super easily, and I can do that really easily. And there's a few other things that happen which I don't even need to think. That's a fly, not a wasp. Yeah, okay. Had a really big wasp that flew into the flat earlier today. It was like, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we get the ones that like they're really like long and thin, and you can see like the thorax coming down, and like they've got these really big wings. They're not like a traditional wasp. They're kind of like these big hornet type things. They're not very nice. Anyway, my dog saves me because
people say that we have like deadly animals or deadly insects here in Australia, but nothing like that.
There's only one thing that kind of gets me. Like bees, I'm actually okay with because a bee is like, oh, pop around and they don't come near you. Like they're happy doing their own thing. Wasps, however, especially in the UK, they fly around your face and you're like, they'll just go for you. And it's like, they're the one thing that I just can't handle flying around me. Like wasps and spiders I'm not a big fan of, but like it depends on how big the spider is. We've had this conversation.
We have. Yeah.
It's those ones where you see on YouTube or thingy, and it's like the big huntsman on the back of the thingy, and he just okay, and then he turns around and he jumps and like, where did he go?
Yeah. The thing about huntsmen is that they're pretty harmless. They look
Yeah,
big
they
and
just move
scary.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not that bad. Anyway, that was a digression.
Off topic. Yeah, sorry. Back to Tana.
I can't remember what we were saying before that.
Which software was the
Oh,
easiest to offload to
yeah.
or from? I mean, I would have thought capacities. That would have been my guess because of the way they operate the Today page as well. It's just a natural transition. Any type, maybe, because of the way they handle entities and templates and things like that as well. But
Yeah.
I left it alone a long time ago. That was my transition to Tana, really.
Okay. I
I
haven't
like the
really
idea of the private offline and stuff, and that was kind of
yeah.
what appealed, but
I
just
mean, I
didn't do what I
haven't
wanted
really
to
come
do.
across anybody else using any type. Yeah, usually it's either I mean, yeah, Rome, Capacities, Notion, Obsidian sometimes, but it's in a bit of a league of its own now, especially because well, most people use
Yeah.
Obsidian, they want offline, they want to own their files, they're very kind of in that world.
hmm
Yeah.
It's also very heavy note taker, and
Yeah.
from what I've understand, and I'm not a heavy note taker, which is
Yeah.
I think that's kind of some of the flexibility in Tani. You don't need to be a heavy note taker to use the outliner tool there. You've got more flexibility that you've got to work with.
I think so. And I think what like I mean I do a bit of long form writing because obviously I'm a creator, but I just learned to live with outlines now. Like I just like now that I've used an outline for so many years, I just think in outlines. And even
I
if I've got the bullet points, it just feels like I'm just right. It's like it's just a document for me.
Well, that's how I naturally write. I write in bullet points. Like when I'm
Yeah.
taking notes down, I write it in bullet points, and I don't write in sentences and paragraphs and long form stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
for me, it's a natural thing. But Nick introduced me to Whisper Flow, and now I can't get enough
Oh
of
yeah.
that. So, like,
Oh, it's my favorite.
it's so easy to just get my thoughts out. Like, it's a massive. It's like a stress offload as well.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, I mean, it's not weird. I know exactly the reasons why, but like, it's part of my wellness now. It's like it's my morning routine. I'll go in, I'll hit a reflect, and I'll just talk, let it roll through. Gigabrain naturally then takes all the highlights through for me, and then I find it in things later. So
It's very cool. I love voice workflows.
yeah, like I think when it's funny actually when Nick started testing Gigabrain with me back in what January, February when we started doing the original PKM one,
When it was the perpetual knowledge machine, yeah.
when it was the perpetual knowledge machine, I turned around to him and I was like, "Don't really use voice notes. This is in this." After like a week of using it, I was like, I don't know how I didn't do this before. Like this is so much easier for me. It's just I didn't used to talk, and I think that's part of the problem. Like you keep all the thoughts in here, and that ends up becoming the wrong type of perpetual knowledge machine.
Yeah.
It becomes more of a perpetual spiral. You don't go anywhere with it. So being able to offload that wonders. But
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point now with Tana where all that offload is all in one place, and it's Gigabrain's now like linking all this stuff up, and this is where it gets really clever. And I think you've had other people, Nick, saying to you like, it's linking things that I did with this, and this, and it's like because of the way it's working through your
Cool.
system, it's like, yeah, it pulls things together. If you give it access to it, it's going to reference it. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, this is like Nick and I were talking about it. It's like Tana's got the ability to do this dynamic prompting, as well as what was the other one that we said? I can't remember the terminology we used.
Dynamic context engineering, maybe?
It was
Or
dynamic context prompting because you could have things that would like queries that would populate depending
Correct.
on what you were prompting in the first place. And then you've also got context prompting, which is like you can set the fields up and set up a whole node and send it
Yeah.
off as a signal. So
Yep.
you've got all this leverage, but then when the chat comes back as well, this is what we were working through with Business and Tana, which is like, oh wow, now I can just start saving stuff from that chat and keep rolling with it and feed it back into it. And you have this workflow then that's essentially like having somebody sat next to you, going through it all
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And
I think the way,
yeah,
I mean, look, I think AI would just get better in Tana, but right now it's like, I mean, even just being able to put a dynamic search into a prompt in Tana is just like no one else, like there's nothing else doing that right now on the
no,
market. It's like, being able to pull in, any part of your own knowledge. It's just like, I can't, I don't know how to articulate it better to people because I'm like, this is this is really good. Like, people talking about like memories in ChatGPT. I'm like, you don't need memories. Like that's
you've
just a
got the
gimmick.
record.
It's like
Yeah,
it's a full gimmick. It's like this is how, like this is what it looks like when you've got AI integrated into all of your projects, your tasks, your
yeah,
journals, everything, like I mean,
yeah.
I can't wait until we've got like more credits and also kind of like, can see all of the graph at one time. Like that's where I'd like to go. But
So, well, this is what me and Nick discovered whilst we were kind of combining Focus and Giga was that the combination of the Focus layout for the views that are the dashboards that we created, those search queries were putting in effectively dynamic prompts because it
correct.
was, yeah. So when we realized, or when I started to realize that Charlie was receiving all of that information from my project, like all the highlights everything that I put into those tabs, it was like, oh, okay, well, now there's a lot more context and it's a lot richer. And it actually started to go through my transcripts from the reflections that were in there. And it threw words back at me that I had used. And I was like, oh, this is cool because now I can do things in my own words and I can have a conversation with someone who sounds like me, not
Yeah.
just like some random ChatGPT agent. It feels like I'm talking to a character and he's using my words with me. Like I'm having a conversation, not just here's what I think, boom, like that was
Yeah, I think,
that was the other thing. Go on. I think you're about to say the same thing.
well, I think that people don't realize yet just how valuable what Tana is offering at the moment because the experiences that you can have inside Claude or with ChatGPT, they have projects, they have these instructions that you can give, but it's not possible to have this all-encompassing, like the AI is aware of everything that you're doing and why it matters, and you're able to also, there's not that transparency of why the AI is thinking these things and what it has access to. In Tana, you have all of that.
Yeah.
And that's already today. That's not even factoring in what they're working on and are going to be working on over the next year or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
Super exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I I'm really looking forward to the future. Uh, the other thing, you guys were talking about voice, and I wanted to jump in because that's something that I had no idea how much information was not making it from my brain to my keyboard before.
Yes.
Because now that I
Yeah.
talk, I realize I would have written one sentence, but now that
Yeah.
I speak out an entire paragraph. Some of it is ums and ahs and stuff, but there's also some real gold there that would not have been captured otherwise.
So there's
Yeah.
two things that I noticed are happening there. One, you're filtering yourself less by, because I'm trying to cultivate what I'm putting in on the keyboard. It's a note. I want it to make sense. I've got to return to it later. I don't need to do that now because I can just offload and the AI does that for me. That's where it's like I don't need to process that little bit. I can just get my raw thought out and the AI turns that into, this is what you meant. Yes? Yes, it is. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Because I wasn't going to get there by myself very easily. It would have taken me like, 5-10 minutes to curate the line. Whereas he's just, I've just offloaded it, 10 seconds of chatter, and he sorts it all out for me. So like that has allowed me to move quicker more than anything else.
Yeah.
To spend my time, spend my cognitive energy on what I want to spend my cognitive energy on, and not trying to just process my thought. Is like, wow, that's I can't pay for that. Like, you can't pay for that time. You can't pay for that time back,
It's such
in
an
my
unlock.
opinion.
Like, and I think, like it does take like a bit of time to kind of like get into voice mode. Like, because you're like,
Hmm.
oh, just so not used to it. We're all used to being quiet and using our fingers. Like, it's like very odd. Whereas like actually voice is like natural for humans.
Yeah,
It's weird to say that. It's like it's actually a natural, like it's how we learn to talk before we learn to write, those kinds of things.
yeah.
And
I
then
just realized something though.
I think working with AI, I find I get much better results when I talk to it. Because I
Mm.
think that it's getting all of that stuff out, like you said, Nick. It's like, more than you would just like, sit and type one sentence. You're just kind of like chatting away and then, it kind of gets me a little bit better. There's like a bit more nuance in it.
There's also um, there's also the factor where you might repeat yourself 2 or 3 times about the same thing and say it in different ways, and the AI turns around and goes, "Well, okay, by triangulation, this is what you meant." And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That you said it better because you took what I was trying to cultivate and you've turned it into what I actually meant for that. That's also very powerful. It's like
Yeah.
it allows you to blurb out what you need and get it off your chest, but then still come out with a strong result at the end of it.
Yeah.
Uh, that is just like, again, you can't pay for that time back.
No, you can't. And I think like, exactly what you said, Simon, it's like it speeds everything up. Like now and I
Mm,
this is coming from me as someone who like professionally I'm a copywriter. So like and now like I always thought that writing was thinking. But actually changed my whole mind on this is that I actually think thinking is talking. Like, like
mm.
now I do a lot more of that while I'm talking, and then having AI being able to kind of reflect things back and work together on it. I find like it's so much faster. Like like even yesterday I was like creating the new page on my website for the Knowledge Hub. And so all I
Mm.
did was just talk for a couple of minutes. This is what it does, and da,
Oh
da,
yeah,
da. And then
yeah.
like
You just came out.
next minute, I got all the copy for that page, which would have taken me hours and hours to actually write, like from scratch. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love the creative process of voice, AI, kind of like that back and forth and that wrestling with stuff. It's so good.
So you just brought an interesting point up there, which is using your own knowledge to write content, which is what we're looking at the moment with this content creator pack in the
Yeah.
thingy. And there's a few realizations that we had whilst we were doing some of this stuff, which was like, oh my God, like we kind of got to a point where we had it punch back an article. And Nick and I are actually using the transcript on Tana to record, both of us feeding into the same chat, and also to the point where we were on different workspaces. Sorry, on
Yeah.
the same workspace on different machines,
Yeah.
feeding separately into the chat. And the AI was going, okay, this is da, 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 da," and it came back with an article, and we're like, oh, this is good, and it sounds like us. Like this is actually like we're probably going to put it out at some point later this week, but like it was like, oh, okay, this is taking our words, this is taking our notes, this is taking exactly what we've been talking about. This is like the exact angle. Like this is something that we can add as a service here at this point because it's like this is pretty
Yeah.
robust. Now we're in the process of just like making sure it's 100% refined to get it
Yeah.
all there. But
I'm going to take
it's using the
this
same.
opportunity to plug Business in
Mm,
Tana.
Yeah.
That is our course that is really a method of delivering several really powerful templates for people who are focused on really getting things done, especially for business. If you're a solopreneur, content creator, you work in a small team, this is built for you. And there is a live Q&A that is happening this Saturday on September 6th. So if you have questions, if you want to see a demo, come to that event. Okay, promo over. Simon, go ahead and finish what you're saying.
I was going to say, like, because Ev's just come out with the knowledge, update for the knowledge hub that you were talking about. Yeah. So like using all of those like combined things together where you're doing like these contextual prompts and it's based on the whole thing and you got somebody like an agent that you can talk to and assess through all your content. That's all like really, really powerful. But I had this realization of like, okay, well, I'm a solopreneur. I work for myself. What's the main thing that I need to do in this modern age, which is I need to create content about the stuff that I'm doing in order to then advertise myself online.
Yeah.
This is so like we need something like this. So
Yeah.
it was like, how can we utilize Tana for the best way possible to do this? And it was actually like, well, we've got all this data in there already. We've been recording everything because every meeting that we've had about the business in Tana template that we've been producing, I recorded it. So we've got all the transcripts from all the meetings. And when we start chatting with all of that, it's like, oh yeah, we did say that 2 weeks ago. We did set out these goals. We did do this. And we, it's keeping you on track. And you're like, okay, because there was things that we can go off and do and just completely forget about. And it's not so much that I need like a task list. It's I need a memory of what I was doing and when I was doing it and who I was talking to about. And that's more powerful because then you can assess it with the AI. And I feel like Mem has a lot of these like powerful things that you can do with it as well in regards to that conversational chat. But the difference is I can't see what I'm looking at, whereas Tana, I can go into a node and give it a view and see everything that the AI is seeing. And that makes me feel part of the process and not just like hitting a button and hoping for a result. So one of the things that Nick and I were working with is like, how do you get the AI to come back to you in a way where it's not completely overwhelming? And like step by step, like we start to have a conversation with it. And it's like, this feels so much more comfortable. Like I'm not being punched back like a whole essay that I have to like get my brain into gear for to understand. I can just roll with it. So I think it's prompting you as much as you're prompting the AI.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ev, what are you most excited about when it comes to Tana or technology and the space that you're working in?
I think what I'm really I'm really like into at the moment is kind of agents and that kind of thing. Like so I'm kind of looking forward to this like kind of a next part like where Tana kind of can do a little bit more kind of like automation or can connect to kind of like some automation things. I think that's really cool. Because like right now I'm using Relay to do some cool things. Like I've got like my email, like I've got an email agent set up that like looks at all my emails and then pings me if there's something that's VIP and like it's just like kind of cool stuff that's like, oh, like, because I hate checking my inbox. Like, it's one of the things that I hate doing every morning. And so, but I want to be able to know if there's like something from a client or, a product, customer or something like that. So like, that's been such a cool thing to set up. And I'd love to see kind of like some more of that kind of stuff come into Tana and like be able to kind of do some more kind of intelligent things like that. I think like what I'm really loving is just working with like people who are like doing real jobs in the real world and like we're building very cool like workspaces together, and not just kind of like in kind of the more traditional PKM space where like everyone's just taking notes. It's like, no, like, we're like at the moment I'm building a voice first CRM for one of my clients. So he's on the road a lot. So it's like all powered by voice, like even like the migration. So like getting people in, he's just like talking into data about clients and then it's like structuring that data. Like it's very, very cool stuff. And like, just like, I think the more you talk to like real people and see like, okay, what are their problems and what do they need? And then trying to then like create solutions for them in Tana is just like very exciting. So I've been loving that. And then like, working one-on-one with people, then all of that gets infused into then templates and, videos and content and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's very fun. Yeah.
No,
What about you,
definitely.
Nick? What are you excited about?
I am excited about man, really all the possibilities of how every technology can interact with every other
Yeah.
technology and how that can be agentified. So I'm really looking forward to, for instance, the browsers, what's happening there with
Yeah.
being able to interact with Tana. I have no idea what is going to be possible, but that's going to open up so many possibilities that uh, I don't know. I don't know what the limit is, honestly, because if you have access to your personal information and you have that usability and you have that flexibility and you're able to see into things when you want to, you connect that to whatever you're looking at on the web and being able to take actions based on that information. And when AI knows you personally like that, there's just it's a Pandora's box that's opened in a very good way.
Yeah. And have you tried to use Tana in Comet or Dia or any of the browsers yet?
Well, yeah, you're shaking your head no, Simon, but like you've tried at least, right?
No, I haven't I haven't used I don't use Tana on the browser, so like
Yeah.
I prefer the this is one of the things for me. Like I have a habit of closing tabs down and things like that. That's my workflow. I don't leave things open. So like for me to have the browser open on my desktop all the time is like I come from a world where I've usually got at least 6 or 7 applications open all at once to do like what I used to do was like Adobe, have Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. I'd have several things open all at once. So my training at work was, okay, the computer can't handle this. I need to close things down. So like
Right.
my habit is to kind of like maximize RAM as much as possible on my computer to do the processes that I used to be doing and things like that. So leaving things open is like a bit of a taboo feeling for me. So I like having a dedicated app for something, and I like being able to go, okay, I use the browser for this and I use this for that. And my whole thing was I want one thing to do 80% of my leverage for the day, so I'm not context shifting when I'm going between different things because I'm already doing that much context shifting to do the design work that I was doing. I'd have to switch between all the different softwares. So like I was trying to reduce down my own cognitive load to a certain extent, but it's just naturally what I've always done, and I think it's probably because of that. But a dedicated app for me where I've got an all-in-one solution for things like even if that all-in-one solution can't do everything, but I can click a button and it can take me to where I need to go,
Yeah.
fantastic. Like I've got working files within all of my projects, and it's just a link to the Google Drive folder, or it's a link to the actual project file online, or like for Descript, for example, it's a link to the Descript file. And if it's the right thing, it will open the app up on my computer. It will go to the link and it will open the app up. So like there's certain things where I'm like, I don't need to have it all in the browser, but I understand the rationale for people wanting to do it. And I understand also the reason for going, okay, I'm on Comet, I want to ask the AI to do something in Tana. Okay, it does it for me,
Yeah.
great. Why do I need to ask an AI to do that for me when I can just go to the browser and type? I don't understand the rationale of using another tool to do the same thing that I want to do in the first place. This is it's cool, but it's an extra step that I don't feel I need to take. That's
Yeah.
just my approach to these things. I don't want to have an extra step to do something that makes it easier or harder for me to do something. If there's a reason for it, like the voice, absolutely.
Yeah, I was going
But
to say that. For
yeah,
me, I think, well, so one of my, I guess something I'm like, I feel like I'm making a bet on is that I think we will not interact with our tools in the way that we do now. I think that conversational UI will just take over everything, whether
it will.
that's through voice or through texting. I just think that's what I see. So it's like maybe in a year's time we won't even really see the day page. We'll just be like, "Hey, what's coming up today?" And then it'll like come to us. Like that's my thing. Or add this to the
I
project,
s-
or do that kind of thing. That's my bet.
yeah. Most likely, yes. I will find that hard to get rid of the visual
Yeah,
feedback that I need.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
I think there's a certain level of I need that visual so that I understand that what I'm looking at and what I'm being told are the same thing. There are people who will be able to just do that, but
Yeah.
I need that visual, and there'll be so many different types of people who still need a screen to interact with.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Maybe we'll
I
just have
love
like
what
a little chat bot at the side.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I love the idea of these little like AI. What was it? The
Oh, the
dudes who was
pins.
working at Apple. Yeah, these pin things, like not necessarily the ones that just record, but the ones that you can actually like interact with.
Oh.
They're not like this rabbit thing. Not rabbit. I can't remember what it was
The
called.
limitless pin? That one?
There's that, but there's also the one. I think it's the limitless pin. Actually, it's the dude who used to
There
work at
was one that
Apple who
was
then
called
went off with
Rabbit
his.
something too. Oh, what, the Apple? Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
the
remember
same
what it was
thing.
called.
There was two of them. We're talking about the right things, but I can't remember the exact names of them. But they're these voice chat interactive things that will then go off and do things for you. Basically, what Comet is now, but voice interactive, and it lives with you. But I still think you're going to need the visual connection to certain stuff with some of these things.
Yeah.
This is what I see Google Glasses stuff and things like that turning into. Like, you're going to have a visual UI on here. You'll be able to interact with it. That'll be it. As soon as they start getting that technology and things like this, and it's as light to wear as your glasses, then that's it. Like, conversational will go off. You'll have a little visual feedback to say something's happening, and every other process will go off from that point onwards. It's Iron Man and Jarvis. That's where I see this going in the next 5 years. Like, I'm just waiting for the day where it's like, here's Jarvis. Okay, great. I can.
I'm a Star Trek fan, so like every time I watch Star Trek and like they're talking to the computer, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the
Yeah.
future right now. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah, you'll have a microwave soon that creates food for you just out of nothing. It's like it's going to be great.
It is very weird to have grown up our entire lives and seen Star Trek and thinking, oh, future, something I'll never experience. And then, like, you don't realize it in the moment when you're acting with ChatGPT because we've acclimated. But then you go back and you watch an episode of Star Trek and you're like, oh, wow. No, yeah, this is the future, apparently.
That's what's happening. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think I was watching some the other day because I like to watch reruns, and I was like, oh, literally, this is AI. Like this is chatting with AI now, the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we've known in our sci-fi films and everything else for the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Longer.
actually crazy to think like I often think I'm so glad to have grown up in this era. Like, because I mean, I'm 43, so like I remember a time when I didn't have a computer or a mobile phone. Like, and I just remember and I was like a big reader when I was young. And I remember
Yeah.
just thinking like, I wish that I could sit outside and read, but also like, like take notes on like my old little like Macintosh, like in my bedroom. And like, it's like stuff like that where then like, suddenly, fast forward, like there's just been such a compression, of activity that's happened over the past years. To
And
get
it's
to where
only
we
going
are
to get
now.
quicker now.
I know. It's
It's
just
going to get quicker now
crazy.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the bit that I don't think people have caught on to yet, is that it's going to accelerate and it's
Yeah.
going to get quicker, and it's just there's going to be more big things now. Like
Yeah.
the rate that we can do things is just, it's not like we're trying to get AI to replace our thought process either. It's helping us to elevate our thought process. And I think that's what a lot of people haven't quite fully grasped yet. It's not going to be it's not a magic solution, is what, Nick and I were saying the other day.
Yeah.
It's not magic. It's a way to elevate yourself and to propel yourself further forward without having to have allowing you to focus on the things that matter more to you. Like Nick, your Manshift mechanics, we were talking about how to find where to place AI in your life, and what are you not good at. That might be able to be an AI process, or it might be an automation. That depends on how you work it. Like, I'm not very good at writing summaries for things, as you were saying. Like, most of my Focus Pro was like the instructional information was all written with, not like as AI, but like as a final solution. But it was like, I need to explain this. Help me talk to this like it was this, and this. Okay, this makes sense. I still had to be the person to make the judgment call of what made sense where and how things,
That's right.
went together. But I think that's where a lot of people kind of almost give up. They think it's going to give them a one-stop shop, and then it's like, well, it's not doing what I wanted to do, and treat it like an assistant. Treat it like you have to talk to it, and it's a person, and you don't have to talk to it with emotion, but like you have to give it the information like you were handing over a job to somebody in
Yeah.
these
I
contexts.
think I do think that is the best way that I've been able to describe to people how to use AI. Like, because
Yeah.
people think, oh, it's technology, so then they get weird about it. And so then it's like, well, okay, let's just step back and let's just think like, if you were going to give this task to somebody, would you just
Yeah.
say, write a blog post about this topic? No, you wouldn't. No, or like, so I always say, but just treat it like you would like. I actually think that we are. Well, I think I am a much better delegator now that I've used AI for so long than I ever was
Yeah.
before. Because I understand how to give instruction, I understand what context it needs. I'm like, okay, think. Well, how about we think
Yeah.
this way? Or like, I'm like, coaching it to kind of like think in the way that I want it to think. Like, and so I think that as humans, we actually are getting better at those other skills, like delegation, like if you think about like AI, in the future, I think everyone will have their own kind of like, AI agents or team, or, we'll be
Absolutely.
expected to show up to work with our team of agents and that. And I think that then you have to think like a
Didn't
leader.
even think about that.
You have to think like, okay, this is my team of people.
Yeah.
How am I, delegating to them? How am I, building them? All of that kind of thing. Yeah.
Didn't even think about that as well. Like, I thought about it before with like when we were talking about voice. I was like, okay, I can understand why people in an office might not as easily adopt this like
Yeah.
scenario because you're talking, but there's a kind of maybe there's something to to be considerate of there, is that not everybody has that sort of opportunity to just be able to just talk, but at the same time, how it's helping me with my work, that's like
Yeah.
it's like I've got an extra member of staff, and talking about it as a team and talking about it as a group of assistants and fine tuning that. If you're really clever about it, you can have a pretty much like a free assistant. You just have to pay for the AI credit.
Yeah.
And that's for people that
Yeah.
work like by themselves. It's helped me, for example, just formulate my thoughts better, because it goes back to I can offload everything and then go through it all. But the really interesting thing that I started to find was when I started to realize I was getting weird results back from the AI, it's because my information going into it in the first place was mixed. And if I'm giving it mixed information, that means my messaging is not correct. That means the AI can't understand it, which means nobody else in the public's going to be able to understand it. So it's a really good indicator of like, okay, this is what my information is saying right now, and
Yeah.
that's not what I want. Or like, I'm asking it to judge it like, unbiasedly, and it does.
Yeah.
So
I
I've
find a
gotten to
lot of
the.
the times. Oh, sorry, Nick. You go.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Eva.
No, I was just going to say a lot of the times that I get frustrated with AI, it's actually because I am unclear on what I want or what's happening, and so I'm expecting it to like be clear when I'm
but
not
that
clear.
but that helps you realize that you're not being clear, and then therefore helps
Right.
you to go and reframe yourself. So it's
Yeah.
like, just by doing that means that I don't put out a stupid
Yeah.
post that doesn't make any sense. Like it's like, okay, is this actually achieving what I want it to achieve? Let me have a sense check. The ability to just throw something out there and be like, can you give me a sense check on this? What did you do with your colleagues when you were in the office? Hey, can you just check this over for me? I'm not entirely sure about this one line. You need that. Like, I don't understand where we got to this world of like, oh, I can do everything. I'm a one-man band. I can do everything by myself. I'm a designer who works with marketing teams, and I need the feedback and information from that marketing team in order to be able to do my job properly. If that marketing team doesn't know what they're asking me to do, and they don't know what their message is, how can I design something according to their goals and their achievements and what they want to get out of the scenario. It's a waste of investment in design otherwise, if you haven't got a message to say. So it's that kind of thing that I find very, very powerful.
I think that the reason people have these expectations of AI being able to be magic like that, I think one of the reasons is that AI is able to do some of that magic with like kind of low level, like introductory stuff.
Yeah.
And you say a very basic prompt and AI fills in all the gaps very well. But you try to do anything more advanced than that, and it becomes garbage in, garbage out. But people don't realize that that magic was kind of built in by the people who built the original AI. But you escape from that, and then you need to be more careful, more purposeful with what
Yeah.
you are feeding the AI and how you're directing it.
Yeah, I think that's true. And if you think back to like the first time that you used AI or something, it's like it's also impressive because like in a button click, like you're getting all this text and you're like, oh my gosh, like how cool is this? And then when you start to use it more, you start I think smart people start to think critically and be like, okay, but wait, does that actually sound good? Or no, that, is a bit fluffy or that kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
um I describe it as like if you can use it in the right way, it's like creative compression. So like a lot of people like think like, oh, you're like offloading your thinking or that kind of thing. Like if they saw my conversations with AI, it's like this is not what is happening. Like I feel like all of that creative work that would have taken days, weeks, months is actually being compressed into these kind of shorter conversations, which
Yeah.
feels like if you've ever tried to like do creative stuff like and you're
Yep.
compressing that, it's even hard. It's like it actually takes a lot of work, but
The
it
difference is you can do creative work in a compressed environment and stressed environment, and you can do it up against the clock and things like that, but you make different choices because you're up against the clock.
yeah,
Whereas if you can fast track a lot of that thinking process, is what you're talking about, you can
yeah,
get to a much better end result much quicker, which is also what Nick and I were saying as well, which is like it's not a magic solution, it's a 10x solution. It's
yes,
something that's going to propel you further forward, but never going to replace you. And this is
that's it.
what everyone's scared about with the whole AI scenario. It's like you still need somebody to make these judgment calls. Like it's not a final solution.
No,
It's a very
and
good first draft.
well, that's right. Yeah. And I found it I mean, I found it good in all of my like in all the different parts of my creative process, but especially like in the starting part. Like I found that I just used to just procrastinate on getting started on stuff. And it's like because you're just
Mm.
sitting there, you're like, how do I start this project? How do I get started on this thing? And so like all I just started doing was like every time I had to do something, I'd just say, this is what we're working on. Just having that kind of, something that could give me some
Mm.
feedback and be like, okay, like even now, like all of my, like one of my favorite ways to use it is just like starting a new project and you get like all the project, info in there, meeting transcripts, all of that. And then like, as I'm kind of like building a workspace or something, I'd be like, did we talk about this or like this is what I'm thinking in terms of like tag structure, what do you reckon, like, and it's like just so nice to have a back and forth that kind of understands the whole project, and like I just feel like it like keeps me going when I would have usually stopped and procrastinated, surfed the web, like done something else and been like, oh no, I've got to like get back
Yeah.
on track. Yeah,
No, it's staying motivated with it. It's like it because if you're having a good conversation with, I mean, I must admit, it took a massive leap when the app brought out GPT-5 for me because I started to have like this another level of interaction that was like, oh, this is enjoyable to read through. This is not feeling taxing to read through. Something about the language they used, the switch that they changed, the way it was delivering the information, the way it was displaying it and laying it out, like it just started to click a little bit more for me.
yeah,
And I was like, oh well, I'm actually talking now, and it's not like oh, someone's just handed me a report that I've got to now drive through and understand and try and work out what is good and what isn't good. This is having a conversation, and that was a big like step moment for me as well. It was like it felt comfortable. which I think says a lot actually by comparison. And I think when it started to have less hallucinations as well between all of that, it wasn't feeding me back some like, I think I was working through something with the Focus Pro and it was talking about like, I don't know, I'll make something up, like it talked about the flux capacitor or something. I was like, where did you get that information from? It was like, where did this pop up from? I've not mentioned this phrase anywhere. I don't know where it understood it from. It was like, kind of made up this process that I wasn't talking about. But I'm having less and less of that right now that I've switched to the
that's true.
ChatGPT and things. So I'm excited to see where this goes. They're already talking now about number 6. And as you said, I think it's just going to go more conversational led and less LLM and more like conversation, action, check. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Let's roll. Like,
I think so.
it's going to
And
have
I
that
think
understanding.
it's, now it is, it's all about kind of the context that you put into it. And I think that's where, Tana can really sit in there with like just being able to like grab whatever context that you need. Yeah.
It's truly working with it versus throwing something out there and hoping what comes back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more like Mid-Journey and things like that at the moment, all these bigger image generators. I've even tried doing the whole comfy UI stuff and building my own stable diffusion, and it's like, whilst this is nice and fun and enjoyable, but like it really is a hit and hope. Like you can be as descriptive as you want and you can start doing like, edits in specific areas, but it's still a hit and hope. Oh yeah, that looks good. Maybe we can try again. Like
I know.
it's
I've
a
spent
hit. It's a hit and hope.
like like just like hitting refresh, and it's like, I find it a bit frustrating, but yeah.
It's definitely not a I'm going to go on there, type a prompt, hit a button, and get something back.
Yeah.
And you have to curate it, and that's what people don't like. You're going to have to really work to get something. Like, there's a reason why people are teaching like master prompts for like Mid-Journey, and I understand the reason why, because you're trying to hack a system in with with language models, and I get the reason for doing it, but I'm a designer. I'm going to just create the image.
Well, yeah, and from a design point of view, it turns out it's very hard to actually
Have something to execute
articulate,
with.
like talk in a language that the large language model can understand and then design for you. It's like, it's very weird kind of thing.
However, Nano Banana, which is Google's thing they've just come out
Yes.
with, I drop an image in there, remove the background. Perfect, give me the background back. Okay, cool. Put this one in. Can you remove the background and, sort this arm out? Yeah, perfect. Sorted it for me. I'm like,
Yes.
that's what I want. I want quick edits. I don't want something that's going to take me 3 hours to do it on Photoshop.
That's
I
right,
want
yeah.
something that I can... That's all I want. And it's doing it better than I could do it.
One of my thumbnails actually, because the picture I had like half the laptop cut off, and I was like, oh, can you just like add the rest of the laptop in? And it was like so good.
Yeah, like that
Stuff
kind of
like
thing is exactly what I want it for. It's what Photoshop came out with their in-image AI generation, and that was really useful because it was like, okay, I can extend the background now, and I can do this to it, and I can chop things out, and I can just remove this really quickly. Perfect. That's exactly what I want from an AI image generation. I don't want it. I don't need it to create the whole thing for me. It's still going to be a better result. Me using a final photo photography, high-end photography, and then asking the AI to edit that versus asking it to come up with something new. But I stand corrected because there's a lot of fantastic AI art there. But how much... I asked the question, how much did they go one prompt, and then 500 prompts later of indenting and sorting every little section out? At what point do we get to that it would have just been quicker to do it on Photoshop in the first place? So that's kind of my... like... where's the payoff here? I effectively felt like I had to learn a whole new skill to do the same thing I was doing in the first place, which was I now have to learn how to talk to it to get the
And I
result.
think that's the thing, right? Because you're already a designer, you're kind of learning a weird skill to get to the end result. Whereas, like, I think some of the magic in AI is that there's so many people who have these ideas but never had the skill to be able to get that into the world, and I think AI kind of enables that. Yeah, if they can.
And I think if you know...
image.
Yeah.
I read like it's much easier to get to use like ChatGPT and that kind of thing than it is to use the image generators. I think there's a lot.
I think speaking from that background, yes, but
Yeah.
as you said, people who are coming onto it now, that might be the way that they do it now. Like, and then
Maybe.
they can get fantastic results, and I agree. But
Mm.
editing versus creation, I think for me is like for a final result piece thing that
Yeah.
we want to be doing. Oh, sorry, got a phone call. Don't know who it is. Lost my train of thought now. Sorry.
Oh, right.
I think
What were we just
I think
saying?
that's a sign maybe that we can wrap up maybe and kind of like look ahead into the future. And Ev, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to share with anyone watching?
So I'm just in the process of putting a new community together called College of Knowledge. So it's kind of for people who want to kind of take their knowledge work to the next level, I guess. So like I've got Tana Fast Track, you learn a lot of great stuff in there, but then it kind of just like finishes at the end of the course. So it's really just for it's just an idea in my head at this point. It's probably launching around November. But yeah, it's kind of
Nice.
like just a fun place where knowledge professionals can just get in and really kind of get serious about building their knowledge systems. So yeah, we'll see where that
Cool.
goes.
Cool. Is there any kind of wait list or anything for that?
No, there probably should be. I've mentioned it a few times now to people, but no, but like it's more towards the end of the year. So yeah,
Nice.
Okay. Well,
I'll keep
everyone
an
keep
eye.
an eye out for that then.
no,
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I'll just plug our stuff again, Business and Tana. We have a live Q&A session on Saturday, and the actual course starts on September 12th. Links will be down below. Thanks so much for joining us, Ev. It was really a pleasure to talk with you.
thanks for
Any
having
closing
me.
thoughts? Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
Yeah.
No, my mind literally just went like blank when I got that phone call come through. So, but I'm excited for the next few steps that are coming, and I think what's happening with AI is going to get even more interesting, and I'm very curious to see how Tana implement all these different, like, voice conversational chats and things like that. I don't know if that's even in the cards yet, but I would love it to be. But there's things that are definitely looking up for that.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, with that, should we just say goodbye?
yeah.
In true Tana fashion.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.